It was work, 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 work. Okay? That's that angry black woman thing has come up now. Why do you think I'm angry? Like, y'all just hold on. To what? Get up out of there. Not feeling well. I'm gonna stay at home. No, you can't do that. Everybody else can cancel on you, but let you cancel and boy, the world is shutting down. Ooh, let's rest together. Let's go get our nails done. Let's go get our feet done. Let's go get a cup of coffee. Welcome back, sis. You are listening to But Did You Die? Chaos, Lessons, and Laughs. The sacred space where we, me and you, untangle trauma and survival responses, healing and identity through the lens of the Black woman's journey. So today's episode is an unlearning, a gentle revolution, and remembering when hustle becomes our heritage. It's called Rest is Not a Reward, Healing the Hustle in Our Bloodline. Because so many of us, rest feels foreign, even unfamiliar and uncomfortable, and sometimes almost sinful for my Christian girlies. We were raised to believe that we had to earn our ease, that stillness was laziness, that naps were for people who didn't want it that bad or bad enough. But what if rest was never meant to be the end of our work, but a return to our worth? So let's talk about why the hustle feels like home, why rest feels like rebellion, and how we can heal the grind that's been passed down like an inheritance. So take a breath with me, unclench your jaw, breathe. Let's come back to ourselves on this episode. And it's the 6th episode. Yeah. Welcome. All right. So let's get into this. Okay, sis? So you should already know what we're about to do. We're about to sing the song. So get ready and say it with me. All right. Now you got to do a little dance. Hey. Ready? Let's go. Buckle up. Sit back. Girl, you not under attack. Buckle up. Relax. Girl, you know I got your back. Say what? Buckle up. Sit back. Girl, you not under attack. Buckle up. Relax. Girl, you know I got your back. All right, let's get into this. So let's get started. So we're going to jump right into this. So I kind of want to give you some key pointers to in the beginning to kind of help you understand the purpose of this podcast, just in case I kind of stray away a little bit. So many of us were raised in systems where survival was the goal and not thriving. So those systems became habits, they became family rules, and those rules became our bloodline stories. Now, so I want to drop some key pointers to help you understand the episode more. So a few other key pointers for this episode: that rest is not a reward. Okay. Rest is not a reward. Healing the hustle in our bloodline. The first key pointer is rest is a birthright, not earned. We've been taught rest comes after the grind, after all the boxes are checked, kids are cared for and fed, the man is good, ministry is done, and work is complete. We can rest. Truth is, rest is not something you earn. It's something you deserve simply because you exist. Yeah, that's you. Second one, survival mode teaches us hypervigilance. So in survival, the body learns to stay on guard, blocking love, healthy things, and used to chaos and struggle and all my life. Always doing, fixing, and helping, right? So slowing down feels unsafe because the nervous system equates stillness with danger, laziness, or vulnerability. So sometimes being still, you get caught, you know. So healing begins when we retrain our bodies to see rest as safety rather than threat, right? It is okay to rest, baby girl. Okay. All right. The next one, the strong black woman and the myth cost us rest. So we all know we got that strong black woman. That's a strong black woman right there. That's a strong woman. I'm a strong woman. I can handle it. I got it. I'm going to take it. That has become the black woman's identity. So strength has been demanded of the black woman for generations. Hustle has been celebrated as dignity and resistance, but it also left us as exhausted, right? If you can't be strong, like, are you even a mother? Like, for you to say, I'm tired, I need a break, it's against the rules. You can't say that. You're supposed to be able to handle this as a mother. You're supposed to get it. Supposed to snap. If you can't, then are you even a mother? Rest becomes rebellion against both systemic oppression and unrealistic cultural expectations, right? So rest is sacred, not selfish. Self-care is often framed as indulgent, especially in church or community roles. But Sabbath stillness and cycles of renewal are sacred traditions. Rest honors God, honors the body, and honors our future. Burnout. The next one is not a personal failure. Burnout isn't proof that you're weak. Like, Lee, who created it? Who made that? Make you feel like, first of all, I don't even think we knew what burnout was. Like, we were really experiencing burnout. I think we were just exhausted and tired and drained and not knowing. So burnout is not a personal failure. So burnout isn't proof that you're weak. It's evidence of systems demanding too much. Yes. Naming exhaustion out loud helps us break stigma and open the door to healing conversations. All right, this is the last one of the key points. So redefining rest as resistance and restoration. So rest disrupts capitalism, lie that worth equals productivity. We talked a little bit about that in a previous episode. Rest restores creativity, joy, and softness. Like, a lot of y'all need a nap. You need a nap. You need to take a nap to start over and to refresh and to take a break. We need a nap. It allows us to step into our true selves, not just survivors, but whole women. So those are some key pointers I want you to know and to kind of receive as we talk more into the subject of rest is not a reward, healing the hustle in our bloodline. So being that I'm blackity black, I'm a black woman, I can only talk about the black woman and the experience of a black woman in church, an experience of a single mother, being raised by a single mother. I can only talk about the experiences of these things. Now, as a therapist, I can talk about other things and therapeutic things. And so we're going to really get into that as well. So the bloodline of burnout when hustle is generational. All right. So we're going to start with the truth. Many of us from people who couldn't afford to rest, Black women who worked sun up to sundown because survival was the only option. grandmothers who were maids, caretakers, cooks, mothers who held two jobs and still made a way out of no way. And so let me go back to that grandmother part. So I want to do a little bit of a deep dive into my family, a little real quick, just a little sprinkle of razzle right here. My grandmother, if I'm not mistaken, was the oldest female in the family. And because of that, she was the oldest female. She did not go to school. And so because she did not go to school, she worked. She had to work a lot. And because she did not go to school, her generation, we struggled because she was not able to go to school, but the rest of the siblings were able to go to school. I think my grandauntie and my granduncle, I don't really know too much, but I do know that it was a point in time in my life that my grandauntie was a substitute teacher. And she allows that was so she was there when a lot of the family members that were distant family members, but they were still family members, used to bully me down to the ground. And I would go home, get off the school bus and go home and cry to my grandmother. And I would tell her who was doing it. She was like, that's your cousin. Your cousin is talking about you and doing this. And when I look back at it, I'm like, why is grandma surprised? Because my auntie went through this too. The baby of the auntie went through a lot of the bullying, and she encouraged me like, yeah, them the same ones, they cousin or they big sister, they big brother bullied me. And they're not realizing that you got a chance to do all of that because of my grandmother's sacrifice. My grandmother had to work as a maid and clean and a caretaker so you can afford to go to school, because my big mama had them at a young age. And so my grandmother had to work. So that lineage from my grandmother, we struggled because no one was able to kind of get out of that until later on, where I don't know if it was me was the first one that graduated from college, and my auntie went back and got hers, and then everybody else started to kind of come up. But it was a hard time going through because my grandmother and my mother worked sun up and sun down, and it also spilled on to me. I worked sun up and sun down. It wasn't until I got my degree was I able to get out of that working sun up, sun down. And so I'm not like, oh, school is the best. Go get some financial aid and student loans. I'm not saying that. Don't do that. What I'm saying is that a lot of the benefits I have today and the lifestyle that I can live today, it is because of going to school and getting a higher education. Now, that is not for everybody. Okay. All right. Let's keep going. Rest wasn't modeled because rest wasn't safe. We just weren't given breaks. No, there was no breaks for me, especially as a single parent. It was work, another job, sleep, cook, take care of my daughter 24 hours, and doing this, especially as a single parent that was not receiving assistance and support. It was hard. And so, and the church sometimes only reinforce our roles as servants, never as sacred vessels. So the hustle became something holy. It became something like my identity. But did you die? You made it, right? You made it through. So, sometimes trying to hold another generation kind of accountable is like, and just not always kind of accountable, but just kind of share that you went through. It's kind of like you cussed at them, like you saying a cuss word, because I struggled. Or I remember a time I told mom I was struggling with with my eating because we grew up not having enough, and I ended up developing an eating disorder. I remember times like, oh, I'm not going to KFC. I'm not gonna go get a KFC. I'm gonna focus. And next thing you know, I'm on the phone with my mom and I'm in line at KFC. Did not know how. It was just routine. I was just in line getting the food, and it took me a long time to get off that fried chicken. I still got it, and so it was hard. So for me during those times. And so now looking back, I can see, I was caught up in the scarcity, and some poverty. Those things affect your self-esteem, your the way you see the world, hopes and dreams. You kind of feel like this is all you can get. And so, and that everybody else is receiving this because they're better, or the life is better for them than luxury and stuff. That's not true. Okay. All right. So being tired meant you were doing something right. Busy meant valuable. Exhausted meant committed. But here's the trauma. We learn to ignore our bodies, what it's trying to tell us. We silence our needs to sacrifice joy for productivity because we were praised for the more we can do, we were praised for that. This is how the grind became generational. And so, and how our nervous system became wired for doing instead of being. So we have survival systems as generational trauma. So what is a survival system, Monique? Like, what are you talking about? I don't understand. What are these words? So the survival system is a coping pattern developed to make it under pressure, like overworking, people pleasing, silencing needs, and ignoring pain. All right. So how they get passed down. So children grow up watching parents grind without rest, believing worth equals productivity. So I remember a time where I was living in a house. It was my first house, and I was stressing. Yes, I was stressing and worrying. And so what would happen is my daughter was like, I think she was like 12 or 13 at this time. And whenever I'm going through or frustrated and mad, I just get in the car and I would just sit in the car and I would just cry and cry and cry. Or if I was really, really mad and upset, I'll just go for a ride. And really what it was just go up to the post office and sit. Where I was living at, the post office was like 6 minutes away. And I would just go there and sit and cry and cry and cry. And then I would come back in the house, tears gone, had some milk or something, like I went to the store and did something. And, so my daughter won't be like, what's going on, huh? Because kids are empath. Animals and kids are empath. You can say all day, but they are feeling and they can tell something is not right. And they paying attention, trying to figure out what can they do to take this load up off of you. And so it was one time where God spoke to me and was like, you are not teaching her wisely. All you're showing her is having a hard day, go to the car, come back Superwoman. So I had to start teaching her what were my skills to snap back. How did I handle stress? How did I handle pressure? What does it look like? Because me telling her, take a break, read and count down. She's not listening to that. She looking at kids. Watch what you do. They don't do what I do as I say, not as I do. They not listening to that. They watching what you're doing, and either they're going to do what you're doing, or they're going to do the opposite because they don't want to be that. All right. So families normalize exhaustion, mistrust, and self-neglect as the only way to stay safe. So let's call it what it is. Generational trauma. Oh yeah, it's passing down. It's passing down. There is a story in the mental health field. I don't know how it kind of so the way I say it, I don't know if it's exactly right. Don't quote me, but it went a little bit like this. There was a father with two boys. He was an alcoholic and he was not a good father. So the two boys grew up. One was an alcoholic and one was not. And so they were asked, why do you drink? The one that drank, he was asked, why do you drink? Guess what his answer was? Because my father was an alcoholic. And the other one that didn't drink, they asked him, why don't you drink? Guess what his answer was? Because my father was an alcoholic. You see, they both had a father that was an alcoholic. One became just like his father and the other became opposite. And so we have to watch what we say and what we do. And I know sometimes you're in the thick of it. You can't, I'm trying to make it. I'm trying to survive. I'm trying to pay these bills. And I understand that. But at the same time, we have to watch what we're teaching our kids, directly and indirect. All right. So generational trauma, an inherited operating system that says we can't stop, we can't rest, or everything will fall apart. Now, through generations, there were some times where that was automatically true. Yes, because you did not have the luxury, the time to do this. It was work. Okay. And so you had to worry about where the next meal was. And so a lot of times we sit here and different generations attack other generations. Yeah, we didn't go through that. We didn't, we washed the dishes, you depressed. You had depression. You just didn't have time to process it. You was depressed. All that drinking, all that food, all that shutting people out, all that sexing, all that black bull, all that stuff. You were going through stuff. You just did not have the luxury or the space to do it, to process it and deal with it. Well, however, they don't care about passing down that trauma. They don't care about passing down that trauma. All right, the bloodline of burnout. Hustle as a cultural mandate. So when we talk about cultural expectations, we can't ignore, like I said, the history of the Black woman in this country. So for generations, we've been the backbone of our families and our communities. So holding everything together, often overburned, but rarely recognize her weight we've carried. So that legacy is real and it deserves to be honored. So we honor our mothers and our grandmothers and those that have come before us. All right. But at the same time, there's this cultural pride wrapped up in the strong Black woman where you get to feel like you're better than me and judging me because you did it with 3 kids. That's my mama. I did it with 3 kids. You could do it with 1. Yeah, but you had grandmama. You're not doing the grandmama thing. How many know that they are experiencing that? Like they went through a generation where them grandmamas was not grandmama. Take your baby. I'm saying, I'm going to work. Take your baby. Like that ain't even fair. Like you used to drop us at grandma's house without even blinking, bruh. Like we was at grandma's house. Come on. I can't, what? Come on. And so, the struggle became a little bit harder for some of the generations because they weren't having that grandmama. Grandmama was still doing what she wanted to do. She was not being that grandma. She's not doing it. All right. So at the same time, there's the cultural pride wrapped up in the strong Black woman on one hand, and it's a badge of honor, proof of our resilience, our brilliance, and our ability to keep going no matter what. Now, on the other hand, it can feel like a double-edged sword because strength has often been demanded of us, not freely chosen. Like, I don't get a choice to like, okay, yeah, I'm not feeling well. I'm gonna stay at home. No, you can't do that. Everybody else could cancel on you, but let you cancel and you. boy, the world is shutting down. All right. So hustle became our way of resisting systems that tried to diminish us. It became proof of our dignity and our way of saying, you will not break me. Now, how many has struggled with that again, that productivity equals love type thing, where we some stubborn people, some black women. I'm gonna show you. You ain't gonna, talk about me because I had a baby early, and I'm promise you I ain't gonna ask for no help from you. You ain't gonna ever have to worry about that by me. I ain't gonna worry about that. So we get to this overdoing, trying to prove to people, and yet that same hustle has left many of us emotionally, physically, and even spiritually exhausted. We've inherited not just resilience, but also the burnout that comes with it. And so there's this tension inside many of us. Therefore, that's that angry black woman thing has come up now. Why do you think I'm angry? Of course I'm angry. I'm tired. I want a 2 weeks or a month vacation. I need some rest. So on one side, we want to honor our mothers and grandmothers, to respect the strength that kept us here. But on the other side, something has to change. Don't criticize us for wanting or being in a time where we can rest, where you can rest too. Let's rest together. Let's go get our nails done. Let's go get our feet done. Let's go get a cup of coffee. We can breathe. We out of this part. Grandma, I remember that time my grandma, I think I was like 13, my big mama, and she was in a nursing home. She was like, why you ain't got no kids yet? And I was like, big mama, this not the color purple. I'm 13. I'm just a girl. She was like, you need to have some kids and da-da-da. I'm like, big mama, like this, I know that's what you did, but this not that same time. Like, y'all got to chill out with that stuff. Where your man's at? Where your kids at? And what you doing? I know at that time in your life and your period where you were growing up, that men meant protection. Men meant status. Men meant all these things. And so now we're not living in that time. I get to pick now. I get to choose. I get to choose. Do I want a loving and kind man who is a provider, or do I just want somebody to take care of me and not care about me? I don't have to just get, that's a good man. I don't have to get that. I don't have to get whatever they want me. Right? Okay. And so there is tension inside of us. Okay. And so something has to change. So we're realizing that survival doesn't have to be our only story. That's all I'm saying. I know what you did, how you had to do. Okay, cool. But that does not have to be my story. All right. And the rest, softness and healing are not betrayals of our heritage. I'm not about to let you disrespect me because you went through. I'm going to respect you and honor you as an adult, but I'm not about to sit here and let you, y'all ain't. I'm not going to let you do that. I'm like, look at here, you got one more time. Talk about my mama. Oh, all right. So next part, the difference between trauma systems and traditions. So trauma systems born from fear, pressure, and lack. Example, we don't talk about our feelings. We just keep on going. Keep on moving. That's what we do. Then we got songs that keeps us in trauma. But we'll talk about that another time. All right. Traditions born from health, intention, and abundance. Examples. On Sundays, we rest. We eat together and we reconnect. Right? And so, right. So we have trauma systems are born from survival. These are things that we learn in survival or going through that has now become our everyday life. Whereas tradition stems from love. Okay. love and support and healthy, things. So, a quick question to help you, look at your life and look at your family, look at where you're at, a little temperature check, kind of like, ooh, let me check the water. It's a little hot. What in your bloodline has been passed as normal that is really just survival? Like when I started looking like, oh, I ain't gotta do that. That ain't normal. People actually have conversations. People like actually eat at the table. Like I remember I started seeing like I was going to school, like people ate at the table at the same time. And we did at one point in time, but I think we just kind of like life happens. And that is what happens. Sometimes life does just happen and takes over. And we got to do what we got to do. Period. Okay. But now you out of it. How long? All right. The cost of the hustle, therapeutic reflection. So from a therapeutic lens, now remember, I hope y'all already know, get your journals out because we are going to talk about some stuff. I'm going to ask you some questions. I'm going to have some questions for you to ask yourself. And then I'm going to have some affirmations for you. Yes. All right. So from a therapeutic lens, this isn't just about being busy. It is about survival trauma. If you don't know what this podcast is about and you still here and you like, she's so fun, she's so entertaining, I love the pink. Yes, girl, yes. Yeah. But at the same time, what I'm trying to get you to see is, are you a Black woman navigating through trauma and unlearning trauma? Unpacking that, unlearning negative habits and responses, healing through church hurt. Are you dating the same man but different picture? Yeah, that's what we're here. So you inherit the belief that slowing down is dangerous, but your nervous system wasn't designed to stay in go mode. And not in go mode forever. Now, you gotta do what you gotta do, but okay, do what you gotta do and take care of yourself. So constant hustle leads to that hustle. Keep going. Like sometimes you don't even know you in this hustle mentality. Work up, sundown, work up, sundown. And so you don't even know to like, oh, I'm supposed to take a break. Like I said in one episode, like there's a such thing as a recovery. People do that. So chronic fatigue, anxiety masked as ambition, depression hidden behind performance. What? I hear depressed and sad, knowing you sad, but you get up. And I'm not coming against the everyday working mom, single. Okay, girl, yes. But when burnout feels like failure, it's time for you to take a look at what you're really doing. Are you really doing this to take care, of things, or are you hiding and masking anxiety and depression? So what it looks like today: health cries, high blood pressure, migraines, autoimmune flare-ups, all fueled by an overworked nervous system stuck in go mode. A lot of y'all out here sick, like real sick, and they're like y'all don't want to come to terms with that stress causes issues. Worrying, holding grudges and all that stuff. That stuff make you sick. And then you eating bad, and then it makes you want to eat bad food, unhealthy food. Right? Exhaustion masked as strength, so being praised for handling it all, while silently feeling empty, resentful, or disconnected. All right? Generational echoes. Teaching daughters, nieces, or y'all church mothers, church girls to always be strong. And okay, be strong in the Lord and the power of his might. Yes, be strong. But don't beat me up for feeling like, okay, I'm tired. I need, and that's where he is strong. Like y'all just hold on to what? Ooh, while I'm over here spiraling, hold on, like for what? To what? While longing deep down for them to have permission to be soft. All right. So here's the most sobering part. You can't heal in the same state you were harmed in. You know that. Get up out of there. Pick yourself up, pack your bags, and get up out of there. You can't reclaim joy in a body that's still running from rest. You are still in survival mode. Harriet Tubman, you out here, still running. Underground Railroad, you still running. Sis, what are you running from? What a hole's that? Who you starting on? What's going on? So what do? We learn to resist, not by fighting harder, but by resting deeper. All right. So the cost of hustle, trauma woven into our cells. So cultural expectations. So we also have to name how the trauma of systemic racism and sexism makes it even harder for us to find spaces where we can rest or be vulnerable without guilt or judgment. Sometimes we can't even get to the rest without somebody judging us, without somebody with high expectations from us. So often the message is clear. If we put the load down, who will carry it? And too many times the answer has been no one. You want to know why I'm mad? Because I'm doing all this stuff. You want me to do this? You want me to cook? You want me to clean? You want me to work 8 hours? You want me to do this? You want me to be ready when you ready? You want all this stuff. You want all this stuff. Come on. Like, come on, partner. And take care of me. All right. Church culture and community roles often reinforce this too. So we're expected to keep showing up strong, even when grief, fatigue, or the need for self-care is pressing down on us. So a little backstory of me. My brother passed unexpectedly in 2023 in May. And so we have not had anybody in our family pass away that close to us. It's always been like uncle, daddy, cousin, sister, brother, owner, grandmama, who knew. And I'm like, oh, but he died old, or she died old. And, so it was never somebody this close passing away. And so this has taught me that people really don't know how to support you. And that is oftentimes a lack of emotional intelligence. Yeah, I said it. And oftentimes as well, people don't know how to help other people. They just don't know. And so I had to learn grace and compassion in these areas. So my mom was a different mom at this time, and she was really trying to be strong and grieve, and also tell me not to pick this load up and take care of her and everything else. That she told me it's okay to cry and grieve too. And even though she said it, baby, I was going to take care of my mama. Like, okay, I'm gonna grieve when I can on my own time, and we're still grieving. My brother was an adventurous person, and I know right now to this day he still would do what he did, that cost him. He died on a motorcycle accident, and he wouldn't take it back. Stubborn, hard-headed, but he was an adventurous. He lived. He didn't care. He will say, that's you. He would always say stuff like that. And so I live every day. I tried my best to live every day to the fullest because I know my brother did. And so, we expect people to, especially Black people, dang, he died. It's real. Like, you still, what do you mean? What do you mean? Like, why is there a time limit on grief? with black people. Why is there a time limit on that? Like, come on. So, church culture and community roles often reinforce this too. We're expected to keep showing up strong, even when grief, fatigue, or the need for self-care is pressing down on us. Somewhere along the way, taking a break or tending to our own needs became a frame of weakness instead of wisdom. Sometimes you just gonna be like, I don't care what y'all think. Have a good day. The truth is, burnout is not a personal failure. We talked about that. It's not proof that you're inadequate. Burnout is a shared cultural consequence of surviving in a world that demands too much and gives too little back. It's the outcome of centuries of being asked to pour out without being poured into. And layered on top of that is the stigma around mental health in our communities. Come on. I'm so glad it's coming out now. It's coming out in black people, black men, older black people, black mothers. They're getting therapy because when I grew up, it was Jesus in the belt. Yes, it was. And ginger ale and go lay down. Y'all know that too. That was what y'all went through too. Don't even try to act like that. Y'all know it was ginger ale. Or was it 7-Up or that Canada Dry? That's what that was. You know, go drink some of that. You'll be all right. You'll be all right. Go lay down. All right. And so even when we do feel the heaviness, it can feel unsafe to name it openly. Yes, to say I'm tired or say I need help too often becomes weaponized. Yeah, like to say you need help, like I said, as a mother, mothers don't say that. Not this new generation. They don't want no children. They don't want no kids. I can barely take care of myself. I don't have some kids. And so that was who we were. Like, that was our identity. If we weren't having kids, who are you? Are you even a woman? That's what we had to go through. Where your kids at? Where your man at? I'm like, dang. Let's just jump right in here to these affirmations, all right? And then some questions for you as well. So say this with me. I am not defined by what I produce. I break the agreement that says my worth is in my work. My ancestors and those who came before me labored so I can rest. Rest is not something I earn. It is something I inherit. I honor my lineage by resting without guilt. I am allowed to be still and still be worthy, right? And so rest is not a pause in the story. It is part of the promise. All right. So some therapeutic journal prompts I want you to work on this week to help you with reflection, to anchor your healing, and to really start asking yourself, am I treating rest like a reward? So question number 1, what messages did I receive about rest growing up? Okay. Where do I feel guilt when I slow down? And whose voice is that? What would it look like to redefine rest as nourishment and not a reward? Okay. What are some small daily rituals I can practice to soften my relationship with rest? What messages about rest and work did I receive from my family and community? How has the strong Black woman expectation shaped my relationship with rest? What does rest look like in my cultural and spiritual traditions? And how can I create rest rituals that nourish my mind, body, and spirit? All right. So at this end part, I want to tell you to Take the time to really, really look at your life and evaluate, am I living in survival mode? All right. So rest is not a reward for suffering. It is your sacred return to self. You are not lazy, you're not failing, and you're definitely not weak. You are healing the hustle that tried to keep you safe. You're laying down burdens you were never meant to carry. And you're modeling a new way for the little girl inside of you and the ones who will come after. So tonight, when the work is done, or even if it's not, lay your body down like you belong to it. Because you do. And it belongs to you. All right? And, baby girl, my survivalist, if no one told you today, you are not alone. And you are seen. And you belong here in the space of healing and return. If you laughed, cried, or had an aha moment, do me a favor. Hit that subscribe button. Share it with a friend. Leave a quick review because I read them. And it will mean the world to me. Okay? I thank you guys. And until next time, be well, be rested, and be whole. Bye, survivalies. What will life look like for you? Woman of God, human, Black woman. What would life look like if you were safe? If you were living a life of safety, security, assurance,